Thank you. Mr. Secretary, welcome back. It's almost 5 years since you were here before. I hope you come back soon, hopefully in a matter of weeks, so that all members of this committee will have a chance to have 5 minutes with you. I know that you have a hard stop that may prevent some of our colleagues from being able to address questions. I've got a lot of comments to make that I hope your staff or you can respond to for the record, and then, to shock my colleagues, I'll actually have a real question. Thank you for focusing on the worldwide effects of COVID. You should know that a number of the research projects designed to speed the production of vaccine or conserve it so that less can be used for each inoculation, a lot of that research isn't being done by people who say, well, it won't give us any results till May, and by then Americans will all be vaccinated. I hope that your department would push for those studies that will help the entire world get out of this pandemic. The Russian state has not been effectively sanctioned for its interference in our elections, the mass hack, and working with the Taliban to kill our troops. One way that you can do that the last administration actually did to a tiny and very flawed way is to use the chemical weapons statute to prevent Americans from investing in debt issued by the Russian government or its state-owned companies. That should increase their cost of borrowing by about half a point. That would be a real sanction, and certainly they've earned it. I hope you'll do what you can to turn down the temperature in the South China Sea. We don't need our naval vessels always 13 miles off the Chinese coast. I don't want to see their vessels 13 miles off the Los Angeles coast. I want to applaud the Biden administration for the paper you issued on refugees, especially the fact that it includes the Lautenberg Amendment, which is so important for Christians, Jews, and Baha'is from Iran to at least demonstrate what we already know, and that is that they face incredible persecution by the Iranian government. As co-chair of the India Caucus, and I'm sure joined by my co-chair, Mr. Shabbat, I'm pleased that President Biden will be participating in the Quad Summit just this Friday with the heads of state of India, Australia, and Japan. I hope that you'll work to free all the captives from the recent Armenia-Azerbaijan war, and I hope that your staff would clarify comments made by our ambassador in Baku that seem to applaud the success of the Azeri military aggression. I hope you'll work to cajole Turkey back to some semblance of democracy and a freeing of political prisoners, that you'll look at the disappearances and extrajudicial killings in Pakistan, particularly Sindh, and even before we've been able to rejoin the Human Rights Council, I've got to applaud you for appearing before that council and talking about the lack of accountability for past atrocities in Sri Lanka. I hope that you'll seek whatever congressional change you need, and I don't think you need one, to reprogram the $134 million that we appropriated to the government of Burma, Myanmar. Clearly, that needs to be changed, especially not just for democracy, but for the Rohingya. Now, believe it or not, a question. We're not in compliance with the JCPOA. Iran isn't in compliance with the JCPOA. The Iranian position is that we should make concessions to them just to get a meeting. It's my understanding that our position is that we should come into compliance only as they or after they come into compliance with the nuclear safeguards. Can you assure us that we're not going to make concessions just to get a meeting?
I can.
That's a very good answer. And do we expect that before we give them sanctions relief, that they will verifiably either be in full compliance with the JCPOA or be on a negotiated path toward full compliance?
Yes.
Those are such spectacular answers, I'm going to shock my colleagues and yield 14 seconds back to the chair.